All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to do research on a property that does not have a complete address, or maybe you just don't have the address for that property. So what I'm going to start off with utilizing is Matrix, or the MLS system, to begin my research. And we're going to be going to search here at the top of the screen, and we'll start off with running a tax record search. When you go down here to tax record, you'll see tax search on the right hand side. Go ahead and click on that to open the screen. Once you have opened this tax search screen a few times, the system will remember that and it'll place that tax search in the main menu, just a little easier to access right here. Okay, once you get to this screen, what we're going to do is we're going to utilize the map search to locate the property that you're researching. So there are several ways that you can open up that map search. You can use the link here in the middle of the screen. You can use the tab at the bottom left or the tab at the top right. They'll all take you to the same map. Now, once the map opens, if you do not have a neighboring property address, you will need to zoom in and out, pan and move the map around, and locate that area just visually on your own, but on the map, which can be a little bit difficult. I'm going to go ahead and pull the map up here towards Liberty Hill. That's the area that the property I'm going to show you or use as an example today. That's the area that it's in. So here I could zoom in and out and find that location on the map. If you're needing to find the property this way, what will be easiest to do is change your map to the map view rather than satellite. I know a lot of people have their map defaulted to the satellite view. It's difficult to see parcel lines in this view, or for me it is. So I always switch over to this map view. I can see the parcel lines better this way. If you're not seeing parcel lines, you can go up here to the layers at the top of the screen to identify parcel lines. But when you start zooming in, you'll be able to see those parcel lines more clearly. Here, when you go to layers, you want that parcel option checked. And as you zoom in, that will become more apparent where you're seeing those lines identified. Okay. And when I come here to parcel, I can see that's selected. It's working appropriately. All right. So for today's example, I'm going to utilize an address of a neighboring property to the one that I wanted to research. So we'll say I had an address for a property nearby, 951 County Road 207 in Liberty Hill is what we're looking for. Oops, okay, so then I'm just going to hit enter or return once I enter the address. And that will identify where the property is located that I had the address for. Okay, so this property here is a neighboring property to the one I was trying to research. And if I kind of zoom in and out and pull the map around, I can see parcel lines for the property that I pulled up. Okay, and then here are the parcel lines for the neighboring property that I really wanted to research. You can see it's kind of a triangle shaped property right here. Okay, so if I click on within those parcel lines, anywhere inside of those parcel lines, the system's going to provide me information on that property. So I can see it does not have a complete address. I can see the owner's information, how the land is classified, and the size. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and access the tax record information so that I can look at more details, including checking to see, has this property ever been listed in our MLS? Okay, so I'm going to click on tax. And when you come to the tax screen, what you'll see is here on the first tab, I have that tax information. Okay, so I can scroll down and look at the characteristics, look at some details about the property. And I want to point this out here. I have this APN or parcel ID number. Okay, you can see the APN number and the parcel ID number are the same, but this is going to come into play in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and copy that number. Okay, now If there was a prior listing dating back to 1995 in our MLS, you would have some listing information in this tab right here, as well as photos from that prior listing. Okay, most properties will have some history. It depends on how far back the ownership of this property goes. Okay, so when I click on history, if I'm not seeing any history, what this tells me is this individual has owned this property for a very long time. Okay, there have not been any recent sales, whether in the MLS or off the MLS for this property. This is not typical, where you're not going to see any history at all. Most properties will have some history, okay? But this one, they've owned it for a while. That's why we're not seeing any history. When I say a while, I mean a really long time. All right. I can go to the parcel map. This will give me some details about that particular tract of land, showing me where it's located and as well as some dimensions of the land down here. I can go to the flood map, and on the flood map I can see that this property falls into 2 different flood zones. Okay. And if there were foreclosure information available, I would be able to click on the foreclosure tab. Okay, so this is as much information as you're going to get from the MLS system. But I'm going to do a secondary search, and I'm going to utilize the Williamson County CAD. So here, when I go to that Central Appraisal District website, I can search for property information by specific items like the parcel ID number, the owner's information, or property address. They do not have good geo searching on their site. They don't have any geo searching at all, actually. So when I go to property search, you'll notice there's not an option here for a map search, including when you click on advanced. It's just going to give you those options for the name, address, property identifier, etc. So I'm going to utilize that property identifier and pop that parcel code in here. And you can see it automatically just pulled up that particular property. I'll click on this link to open the property details. And the property details that you see here should match with what you are seeing provided by Matrix. Not a ton of information here. So you can see they don't even have a deed date recorded with this sales history. Like I was saying, it goes back pretty far, is what that tells me. But I will come in to this system to look for other information that's available for the following year's tax assessments. Okay, so what I want to look at, in addition to what I can see here, of course, with their taxing, etc., is I will go up here to the top of the screen and look at their notice of appraised value. This is really important, especially this time of year when we're seeing those appraised values changing. So I'm going to click this notice option. And when the notice option opens, or the notice actually opens, this is the official notice, what I can see here is their last year's value compared to their proposed value for 2022. So you can see that significant jump in pricing there. But this is public information, so it's information that's available to us. I love that. And it can be handy when approaching an owner about an off-market property that maybe your buyer would like to purchase. So this will give me an idea of where should their offer price be. All right, so I hope that helps. I hope that answers the questions that you were looking for on doing this type of research. But of course, if I missed anything, if there's something else that you'd like to know about, please feel free to reach back out to me, and I will do another video or send you an email with those details and that information. All right, have a great weekend.